Hello, dear friends. I am so happy to see you again. Today, we are making a full dinner for a hot summer evening. And believe me, it's hot outside. Here's the make-ahead menu. I'm serving cantaloupe puree topped with cider gastrique and burrata cheese for the first course, baked salmon fillets dressed with mango salsa plus sides of rice and broccoli for the main course, and a rustic blueberry galette for the grand finale. We are going to start with the blueberry galette. And the first thing I need is the pastry crust. French pastry dough is very easy to make. Tip 1½ cups or 195 grams of all-purpose flour into the bowl of a food processor. Add a pinch of salt and 1 tablespoon of sugar. Pulse the machine just to combine these dry ingredients. Then add a ½ cup or 113 grams of cold diced butter. Pulse the machine just to break up the butter. With the machine running, add 1/4 cup or 60 mils of ice-cold water. Process just until a clumpy dough forms. I want to gather this dough into a ball, form the ball into a disc, flatten the disc, and then I can wrap it in cling film because the dough needs to chill for about 1 hour. Into the refrigerator. While the dough is chilling, we can make the filling right after I clean up my workstation. For the blueberry filling, we need a ½ cup or 100 grams of sugar. Just put that in a large bowl. Then we need the zest of 1 lemon. I've seen a lot of people in videos use their microplane zester like this, and it takes forever. I think the microplane zester was designed to be used like this. It's much faster. And there we are. All peel, no pith. Then I want to rub the sugar and the lemon zest together until the sugar becomes fragrant. This is a fun job. This smells just wonderful. Smells like a lemon grove in Provence. As a thickening agent, I want to add 2½ tablespoons of cornstarch. You could use tapioca starch here if you like. Add the blueberries to the sugar mixture and then toss to coat. I'm going to let this sit for a couple minutes while I clean up, and then I can fetch the chilled dough. And here's my pastry dough. It is not as cold as it could be, but I'm going to roll it out anyway. I want to dust my pastry cloth with a little flour and dust the pastry dough as well. We need to roll this into a 13-inch diameter circle. This French pastry dough is super easy to work with. It always rolls out perfectly. So now we can transfer the pastry dough to a rimless baking sheet. If you don't have a rimless baking sheet, you can use a rimmed baking sheet turned upside down. This dough has really softened up in this super warm kitchen, so I'm going to pop this into the freezer for about 5 minutes. Then we can add the filling. While the pastry dough is chilling in the freezer, I'm going to preheat the oven to 425 degrees Fahrenheit or 220 degrees Celsius. Okay. My dough has firmed up. Now, as anti-overly juicy insurance, I'm going to add a tablespoon of cornstarch directly to the crust, and I'm going to spread it out to within 1.5 inches from the edge. Then we can add the blueberries to the center of the pastry dough. Spread them out to within 1.5 inches of the border, and then fold the exposed border over the berries, making little pleats as you go. To help this crust brown beautifully in the oven, I'm going to brush it with beaten egg. So this is basically the same way we made the peach galette in a previous episode. Galettes are so much easier to make than pies. To make the crust sparkle, I'm going to sprinkle it with a little granulated sugar. We can pop this into the refrigerator until the oven is fully preheated. This goes into the preheated oven until the crust browns beautifully. That's going to take from 25 to 30 minutes. While the blueberry galette is baking, we can get started on the first course soup, which is cantaloupe soup with cider gastrique and burrata. And the cider gastrique is super simple to make. It's just honey, apple cider vinegar, and a pinch of salt. I tried this soup many, many years ago at a local restaurant, and it was a revelation to me. The soup was super refreshing on a hot summer evening, and I just totally loved it. So I'm happy to make it for you today. So we need 1 cup or 240 mils of honey, we need to cook the honey until it turns a dark amber color. That will take about 5 minutes. Now, I will post the printable recipe for cider gastrique and for the cantaloupe soup in the description below. And by the way, I am doubling the cider gastrique recipe. Cider gastrique keeps for a really long time in the refrigerator. So now my honey is turning a dark amber, so I'm going to add 2 cups of apple cider vinegar. Although the cider gastrique is initially cooked, the soup itself is served cold. I'm going to continue to cook this mixture, stirring every now and then, until it reduces to a thin syrup. That will take about 15 minutes. And here is our beautiful blueberry galette. I'm going to let this cool, and then I can transfer it to a wooden cutting board for easy slicing. And our cider gastrique is done. It has reduced to a thin syrup. So now I can add a generous pinch of salt. And then I will let this cool, and then I can transfer it to a squeeze bottle and store it in the refrigerator. On to the cantaloupe soup itself. Now, I normally make the soup with a regular cantaloupe. Today I'm going to try this. It's called Sugar Kiss. I found this at my local supermarket. It was right next to the cantaloupe. It is wrapped in a beautiful blue fishnet stocking. Let me know if you've seen this variety of cantaloupe at your local market. It looks pretty. Then we need to seed and peel the melon. I like to use an ice cream scoop to remove the seeds. To peel a cantaloupe, I simply run a knife between the shell and the flesh. This is for my compost. And then I just want to roughly chop the cantaloupe. I've decided that I should double this recipe. So I'm going to use a regular cantaloupe as well as this other variety. We will puree this cantaloupe in a blender along with lime juice. So if you're doing one cantaloupe, you need one lime. I'm doubling the recipe, so I have 2 limes. So I will put about 1/3 of these melon cubes into the blender along with my lime juice. Going to blend this at high speed until it turns frothy. This is frothy. Add the remaining melon to the blender. Now we need salt. Since I've doubled the recipe, I'm using 1.5 teaspoons of salt. If you're making a regular recipe, just use 3/4 of 1 teaspoon of salt. And we are going to blend this to a smooth puree. I need to taste this to see if it needs more salt. No, it's perfect, and it's delicious, even before we have added the cider gastrique. It's really good. I'm going to transfer this puree to a pitcher. And then we can cover this and pop it into the refrigerator until we're ready to assemble the soup. Lizette is behind the camera. I want her to taste a spoonful of this. What do you think?
Oh my gosh. Amazing.
Isn't that something?
Yes.
Yeah. This soup is really incredible. And just wait until you try it with the cider gastrique. So our 3rd course dessert and our 1st course soup are already made. So let's head over to our friends at Chatham Flowers. I think we should do a simple flower arrangement for the dining table.
With your hand on your heart, please tell me which way to go.
home again, we are gathering some leaves from the hostas and ferns that grow beside the front porch. These will give our flowers a beautiful green background. This is pink alstroemeria. Ageratum, or ageratum. I don't know how to pronounce this flower's name. White daisies. Veronica. To remember the name, I always think of Archie. I think this is called solegado. Sol for the sun, which is yellow. And I think our arrangement is complete. And by the way, I am not a professional flower arranger. I have no idea what I'm doing. I just go for it. We can set this aside, and then we can set the table, and afterwards we will make the main course for our dinner party. Before we can set the table, we need to iron the tablecloth. For this dinner, I'm using Spode Italian blue dinner plates and soup plates. I can link these in the description below if you are interested. First course is done, our dessert is done, the flowers are arranged, the table is set, so now it's time to prepare the main course. I'm doing salmon fillets that I will top with mango salsa, or maybe it's mango salsa. Do you say mango or mango? The first ingredient is a medium red onion. This is a large red onion, so I think I will go ahead and double the recipe, because mango salsa is super delicious. It's great with tortilla chips, tacos, and grilled salmon fillets or baked salmon fillets. we need to finely dice this onion. I'm going to use my little dicing machine here. It's really an onion chopper, but it will chop jalapenos and just about anything else. Perfectly diced. And throw these into a bowl. Then we need a medium-sized cucumber, or an entire cucumber if you are doubling the recipe, as I am. I'm using an English cucumber here. I prefer the flavor of the English cucumber to garden variety cucumbers. Almost forgot, I need to seed the cucumber. To seed a cucumber, simply cut it lengthwise in half, and then take a spoon and scrape out the seeds. And we can use this chopper again. Perfectly diced cucumber. Then we need a jalapeno, or two in my case. And I'm going to seed and dice these peppers. And you can keep some of the seeds if you want to add some heat to your salsa. I want to thank you guys for telling me about this onion chopper because it works beautifully. And I can link this in the description if you are interested. And we can put the diced jalapeno in the bowl. Next, a mango, or mango. And I'm going to use two. Of course, we have to peel the fruit. And the mango should be ripe, but it should not be overly ripe. It should not be so soft that it turns to mush. The seed of the mango is in the center, so you want to cut on either side of that seed. And to make the fruit stand up, of course, I cut off a small section from the bottom so the fruit doesn't roll around. So the vegetable chopper does a much better job with hard fruits and vegetables. Mango is soft, so I'm going to use a knife to dice the remaining fruit. Now we need one bunch of cilantro, or two if you were doubling the recipe. We can add the cilantro to the bowl. I'm also adding lime juice and salt. This has to be one of the most colorful salsas in the world. Of course, I have to give it a taste. This is absolutely lovely. but I think it will benefit from a little black pepper. I doubled this recipe because on Monday we are filming a cocktail appetizer video, and mango salsa will be one of the appetizers. I'm going to refrigerate this. As side dishes for the salmon that is topped with the mango salsa, I'm serving broccoli florets. I'm going to roast the broccoli on the sheet pan with the salmon. And I'm just prepping the broccoli here so it is all ready to go. Olive oil, salt, pepper, and toss. Now, I forgot to mention that I'm also serving rice with this meal, and I'm going to add some turmeric to it to turn the rice yellow. All I have to do is cover this, pop it in the refrigerator, and then we can lounge and luxuriate for the rest of the afternoon because everything is prepped. Let me show you how I serve the first course. So we have our beautiful cantaloupe puree. Then I add a ball of burrata cheese right to the center. Then I squirt some of the cider gastrique over all. My dinner guests adored this cantaloupe puree. I think you will love it too. And finish with a dusting of salt and pepper over the burrata. I bought plenty burrata, and I already have plenty of this cantaloupe puree, so I'm going to go ahead and taste this for you. I love burrata cheese. Honestly, I don't think there is anything better on this earth than cantaloupe puree with burrata cheese and cider gastrique. And that's not hyperbole. For the main course, preheat the oven to 425 degrees Fahrenheit or 220 degrees Celsius. Put the prepared broccoli on a sheet pan and roast it for exactly 15 minutes. Add the salmon to the same pan and give it a drizzle of olive oil and a sprinkling of salt and pepper. I'm going to return this to the oven for exactly 10 minutes. You could serve cold potato salad with this main course. I decided to serve rice as a side. For the rice, I added olive oil, salt, and turmeric. The turmeric gave the rice a brilliant yellow color that complemented the salmon and broccoli on the plate. Now we can dress the salmon with a beautiful, fragrant, colorful mango salsa. Everyone raved about this salmon course. My guests absolutely loved this simple summer dinner. I think you will enjoy it too. Again, everything can be made ahead of time, and there's very little cleanup. It really is the perfect dinner for a hot weather evening. I need to clean up the dishes now, but before I go, I want to tell you how much I appreciate your company. I can put a couple of my other videos at the end of this one that you can watch between now and my next upload. Until then, please treat yourself well, and I will see you in the next episode. Bye, friends.